Hi everybody, big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay. This time me, Pontus and Redrick is joined by Frilio William.
Hello, glad to have me back here.
So today I'm bringing Korvold. I'm bringing Korvold because Korvold has got a new toy recently. In the next set we'll get a Sithonian Nightmare, I think it's pronounced. It's kind of recurring nightmares, but with energy. And for Korvold's sake, it's just recurring nightmares, because what do you want to recur with your nightmare? The Dockside, and this recurs Dockside. So it's just another way to get Dockside a bunch of times and get a bunch of sacrifices. Should be pretty good. And that is just good old Korvold. So yeah.
We're doing turbo things. Notable inclusions in this is Mastermind Plum is kind of cute. Kind of a card that my girlfriend is testing out. This is the deck that she plays actually, so I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, should be cool. I hope to get there faster than Pontus will. Gonna do some breach stuff, gonna flicker Dihada and get there, hopefully.
Me, I'm rotating back to thrasios Chain Stasis. You all know that I've been kind of rotating between two decks lately just to get a feel and develop more sort of gameplay with those. So per Monda's suggestion, I did eliminate a few things like Laboratory Maniac and Fairy Mastermind. Wanted to put in Lotho, wanted to try a few other things, but generally the plan is still here. We're trying to generate infinite mana and Smash or something of that sort with things like Devoted Druid and Bloom Tender.
I'm playing Sisay Weatherlight Captain. I think I'm going to be playing this for a while because there's a new card called Necrodominance, which is a legendary version of Necropotence. Now the card isn't out yet, so I'm still using a stand-in proxy card, Doomsday. So there's no Doomsday in this build. Doomsday is Necrodominance, the legendary Necropotence that Sisay can tutor for. So we have something of a mix. We have a Necro build with Sisay with a typical Born Upon a Wind and Final Fortune, together with a typical Sisay package like Dockside Extortionist and Emil the Blessed, or Derevi and Gaia's Cradle and Emil. We also have Marlin of the Morning Sun together with Opposition Agent. Funny enough, we can kind of keep this hand if we were last in turn order, because we have a Simian Spirit Guide and a land, which means a turn 1 Dockside Extortionist, but from the starting position. And there's also the super risk that they don't feed Dockside, it does nothing. So in the end, I don't think I'm going to keep this. But it would kind of work out, because we could put Esika God of the Tree into play and Esper Sentinel into play, depending on how many treasures we do get. And from that point, we have a bit of mana and card effects. But this hand is risky. You could keep it, but we're going to second 7. No lands. We have to mulligan that one. And a little bit too many lands. We're going to put one of them to the bottom. We're going to put Godless Shrine to the bottom. But we have a turn 1 mana dork, then we have Dockside Extortionist, that's great, that's exactly what we always want to have with this deck. And then a Ranger Captain of Eos that is gonna find Esper Sentinel for some card draw. I don't like mulliganing down to something like 5 gambling when I have something that is safe and functional.
Well, we have no lands, so let's pitch and go to second 7. Easy peasy. Yeah, this is a pretty solid package. I mean, we have Vamp Tutor, Mana Crypt, Elves of Deep Shadow. We've got one piece of interaction we can use, probably in a corner case. The Vampire Tutor is good because I can fetch up Risk Study or a Wind Piece, something like that. Maybe even Kinnan, I don't know. But there's some options here. We're at second, so yeah, we can do a couple things that way as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep it. Go ahead, Will.
So we're in third seat. There's not much to say about this one. We are gonna ship it. We go to second 7. If we top take a land, I think we can make Esper support this hand. I think it's not the case though that we have the land, so we're gonna go to a 6 here. Here we have the same problem, but it's actually worse because we don't have the inevitability of actually getting somewhere in the end, because we have to rely on drawing all of the sources that allows us to be able to play Magic the Gathering. So we're gonna go to a 5. So there's a world where we have enough mana to get out a grinding station. However, the artifact to go with the grinding station is a Mox Diamond, which doesn't work. So the grinding station plan is not gonna go anywhere. I think that the hand does a turn 1 Ragavan, and then we have a turn 2 Enlightened Tutor for a Crypt. If we top deck the second land, and then we get to do the Dihada as well as the Diabolic Intent. If we go the Crypt route, then the Diabolic Intent can get the necropotence, for example. I think this is going to be better than most hands. We always had the backup plan of the E-tutor getting a Esper Sentinel for us to get back into the game in the case that we don't draw the land, but I think we bottom the Mox Diamond Grinding Station and the Rite of Flame, and then try to make one of the two options we have available work. But yeah, we're going to keep this 5. Go ahead, Pontus.
So I'll be real, I don't know if this hand is good. It looks pretty good. But when you actually really analyze it, we do have the pre-game Gems and Caverns. We do have a Lotus Petal, so we can go turn 1 Tinderwall plus Ragavan, plus Script if you want to do that as well, which you probably do. Then we untap turn 2. We have a land. We have a Tinderwall, that's 3 mana. A Ragavan, that's 4 mana, and a Crypt, that's 6 mana. So we'll have Korvold floating in red. We don't have any treasures left. We don't have a Lotus Petal to crack. Our only sacks available are a land, a Ragavan, or a Crypt. None of those are perfect. If you draw into the land, which we have 3 draws to do, we can draw to play land. That's 2 mana turn 2 with a crop rot for a cradle, making 2 more mana. It sounds pretty powerful, but I think it's kind of cool. I'm not sure. This is one of those hands that I want to snap keep because they do stuff quickly. But I think we kind of ebb out really fast as well, unless we draw very good, which of course we could just draw the nuts. But we shouldn't really plan around drawing the nuts or Ragavan hitting it dockside or demonic tutor. Of course that can happen, but that's not what we plan around. So I'm not sure. Honestly, I want to keep it just to see how it plays. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this, especially at the first 7. I think I am. But yeah, I'm trying it. Yeah, I'm trying it. Let's see what happens. What's the worst gonna happen? William is just gonna wheel me anyways. It's fine. I haven't seen this out. If that's a call, I'm happy about it. But yeah, I'm gonna have this pre-game of exiling a auto sale to Gemstone Caverns. And let's roll.
After Pontus pre-game, draw a card for turn. Here's a Savannah, Avacin's Pilgrim, and with that I pass the turn.
Draw a card. Land for turn is a Wooded Foothills. I'll fetch. I pay Bayou, play Mana Crypt, and we'll pass.
Alright, untap, upkeep, draw. I'm gonna play this Sculling Tarn and go ahead and fetch. Getting a plateau of my Sculling Tarn and play this Esper Sentinel. If that's good, I'll pass.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will not happen because I don't have one. I will cast a Mana Crypt, not paying for Esper. I'll cast a Lotus Petal. I will tap Gemstone Caverns for a red, casting a Ragavan. And then I will crack my Lotus Petal for green, casting a Tinderwall. And with that, I'm passing turn.
Untap and draw a card. Let's play this Sky Cloud Expanse. I'm gonna cast a Ranger Captain of Eos. I'm gonna find an Esper Sentinel, put it into my hand, and pass the turn.
At the end of Monza's turn, I have tapped Bayou, and I am casting Vampiric Tutor, and I'm using this Mana Crypt to pay for the Esper Sentinel cost. Here's the card that should be no surprise to anyone, and then I will move to my turn. So we will untap and then roll for Crypt. Heads, I'll take damage. I flipped heads, so 3, 2, face. And then we'll draw the card that was already there. Then for turn is this Tropical Island. I will tap these 2 to cast Rhystic Study. And I'm not going to pay for Esper, actually. Rhystic Study resolves. Yay. I will tap Bayou and then cast an Elves of Deep Shadow. Other than that, I will pass the turn.
We're going to play this Command Tower as my land for turn. Go ahead and Ragavan as my card for turn. My single card. You can draw off your Rhystic Study. I'm going to pass my turn.
Go to my turn. In upkeep, I will roll for Crypt. Odds is damage. I rolled a 3. I take 3. Then I draw for turn. We'll move to combat. I will swing a Ragavan at William.
And I need to think for a second on this one. Yeah. Alright, so my reasoning is that I don't have any good attackers with my Ragavan, so it's not very useful to me. However, Pontus, the master yapper, he gave me a word of advice that he attacked me, and I don't block, then I get to attack him. So that's the deal we're gonna do, right? Is that the deal?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, cool.
I heard something, by the way, Will. I want to emphasize that I have on the recording people say, Pontus specifically saying that everyone in cEDH is lying. From his own mouth.
Yeah, I mean the floor is kind of not that. It's not much to lose out of this, even if he was to be lying, you know.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with this. All right, you from your Ragavan you get a Magda. That's pretty good.
That is indeed pretty spicy. I don't know if I'm gonna get there, but let's see. Post-go main phase. I'll tap Mana Crypt. I'll sack Tinder Wall for 2 red. Tap Gemstones for a black, and sack a treasure for a green. 1 red floating, cast Korvold. Not paying for 60. Korvold will ETB, and I will sack. There's no good choices. I'll sack a Mana Crypt, triggering Korvold. Korvold gets a counter and grows, and I'll draw a card. Land for turn will be a Blood Crypt, and I will shock it in. I'll use my red floating and the Blood Crypt to cast the Magda from William's exile. I'm not playing for Ristic, so Return can draw, and then I pass my turn.
And I will untap and draw a card. I'm gonna play a Flooded Strand, sacrifice it, finding an Underground Sea. I'm gonna cast an Esper Sentinel, and I'm paying for Ristic Study like a responsible person, and passing the turn.
Before you pass turn, I wanted to Esper Sentinel. Or not, mental misstep, you're Esper Sentinel.
Can I talk you out of that one? I mean, I'm not really scary right now, right? We have a Korvold in play.
I have 3 cards in hand. You're fine.
You have Ranger Captain for protection, and I don't want to fight through 2 Espers.
But you have an Osh. I guess, sure. It happens. And now I pass.
Untap, roll for Crypt. Heads, I'll take damage. I flip tails. Sweet. And then I will draw. Land for turn is Windswept Heath. I'll pay a life and fetch. Finding a Tundra. I will then... I'm going to tap 2 lands to cast thrasios. And then I will take a damage, tap Mana Crypt, and cast this Demonic Tutor. I will use the floating mana from Mana Crypt to pay for Esper Sentinel. Finding this card that I'm highlighting, and I pass.
Rhetoric, I would like to tap this for white, and I would like to cast this Enlightened Tutor, not paying for Ristic Study. Enlightened Tutor resolves, is going to find this necropotience, put it on top, and then I would like to go to Rhetoric's cleanup. Go to me, untap, upkeep, draw. This Ragavan is going to swing at Pontus and see what happens.
So I won't block. You exile a City of Brass.
I would like to go to my second main. Play this Scrubland as my land for turn. I would play this Rite of Flame, which I assume makes 2 mana right now. And not paying for Ristic Study. And I'm gonna cast the Dihada, not paying for Ristic. Dihada resolves. Attempt to -3 Dihada. Mill Arid Mesa, Red Elemental Blast, DRC, and a Pitbog, making 4 treasure. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this Necropotence.
William, I have a Ranger Captain of Eos. If you're going to sink like heavy into that, I will just crack it and you die to Korvold.
Yeah, exactly. So Necropotence resolves. Very cool. I like it. I would like to -8 on the Necropotence. Exiling 8 cards. I'm all done. I'm moving to cleanup. I discard these 4 cards. They go to exile, and I'll pass my turn.
Go to my turn. Untap. There's no crypt trigger. Draw. I will go immediately to combat. Attempt to interact with the Necropotence by attacking William for 9. We have 2 triggers. We have a Korvold trigger and a Magda trigger. I will lay them so Magda resolves first. So I will make a treasure, and then I will have a Korvold trigger. And I think I need the mana more, so I'll actually sacrifice Magda here. And it goes to William's graveyard. That will trigger Korvold. I'll put the counter on Korvold and draw a card.
I would like to block with Esper Sentinel, the Ragavan, and then I'm good to take 6, 7?
Ragavan dies. What happened to our pact, William?
Pact? I didn't realize it was a pact.
Remember, Pontus, everyone lies inside this format.
They do. They really do. Land for turn will be a emergence zone. So from here, I'm just gonna pass the turn.
I will go to my turn, draw a card, play a volcanic island. I'm gonna make people sacrifice their docksides now, I guess. So we are casting the dockside extortionist. We are not paying for Ristic Study. Dockside resolves. So we went through the circle, and apparently everyone said pass with thought on their minds, but no one cracked their treasures. So I'll make a total of 6 treasures. I'm gonna cast a Sisay, and I'm going to pass. And not paying for Ristic Study, so you can draw a card.
All right then, I will untap and roll for Crypt. Heads taking damage. I flip to heads. 3 more to face. Then I'll draw. Land for turn is a Hollowed Fountain, and I will take the 2 damage.
Alright, I'm seeing a lot of threats coming at me. Here we go. This is my hand. I am not dangerous. I have a CC activation that will find a Ragavan, and that's it.
We will tap Elder Deep Shadow, taking a damage. We will then tap Mana Crypt. Using one of the floating and the Elves of Deep Shadow, I will sacrifice Elves of Deep Shadow and cast a Diabolic Intent. Diabolic Intent resolved, and I grabbed this card I'm highlighting currently. All right, and then I'll use the remaining floating and this 5 mana, or to make 5, and cast a Seedborn Muse. Seedborn Muse resolves, I am happy, and now I will clean up and discard a few cards. All right, so some tough choices, but I am discarding Emergence Zone, this Ranger Captain, and this Noble Hierarch. And then I pass.
Untap, upkeep, skip my draw step. Play a City of Traitors. Plus Dihada for 2 on my Ragavan. Directly to combat. We're gonna swing this 2-2 over at Pontus. Or 2-1 rather.
No blocks. You will exile a Raucous Theater.
Notably, I gain 2 life from the Dihada on the Ragavan, so we're a little bit more healthy. And we're gonna go into main phase 2 by casting this Last Chance and not paying for Rhystic Study. Alright, Last Chance resolves. Very cool, I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and pay 2 colorless and cast this Defense Grid. Not paying for Rhystic Study.
I have a response, William. I will cast a Pact of Negation.
We are going to respond to the Pact of Negation by casting this Deflecting Swat, targeting the Pact, not paying for Rhystic Study.
I will let this resolve, so this is countered. I will pitch this Phantasmal Image to cast a Force of Will.
Use one of my treasures and cast a Pyroblast, not paying for Rhystic Study.
Well, I'm not ready to lose yet, so I'm going to cast Flusterstorm on the Pyroblast.
Yeah, I have no response to Stone Trigger or anything like that. I'm gonna let the stack resolve. My defense grid will be countered by your Force of Will. Cast this Vampiric Tutor. Not paying for Rhystic Study. Vamp Tutor resolves, it finds this card, puts it on top, and then I would like to proceed by doing minus 22. I put the cards into my hand, we're in my end step, and still before my cleanup, I would like to use 2 of the treasures for 2 white, and I would like to channel this Touch the Spirit Realm on the Ranger Captain.
I have no effects against this, so this I think it might be better to sacrifice it now, actually, forcing you to go to this turn immediately. Yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice it actually in response to that. Might be better. There you go. Silencing you.
Yep.
In your end step, I'd like to activate Thrasios one time. Or reveal this Watery Grave and put it onto the battlefield. Tapped.
Got my 7 that I like to keep. I'm putting these cards into my graveyard and then into exile. And I'm ready to go to my next turn. Untap along with Rhetoric, and I will skip my draw step, go to my main phase.
I am going to, on your upkeep after I'd untapped with you. First, we're going to cast Savage Summoning.
I have a response to the Savage Summoning. I'm gonna tap this for 1 white. I'm gonna cast a Silence in response. And not paying for Rhystic Study.
Great. I will activate Thrasios in response.
Yeah.
In response to Silence, I will start by tapping Gemstone Caverns for green, floating a red with Bloodstained Mire, and casting a Crop Rotation, sacrificing my Bloodstained Mire. Not paying for Rhystic Study and trigger Korvold. Korvold will trigger, I will draw a card. I will then resolve my Crop Rotation. I'll find an Ancient Tomb, I'll tap it, taking 2 damage. To activate Emergence Zone, sacrificing it, triggering Korvold. 1 floating. Korvold trigger will resolve. I'll draw a card and put a counter on them. And then I can play stuff in flash speed. I will respond to Silence by cracking a treasure for a red, it doesn't really matter. Trigger Korvold, I'll gain a counter and draw a card. I will then pay 3 mana to cast a Jessica's Will, both modes targeting Rhetoric, not paying for a stick.
So in response to the Jessica's Will, I'm gonna tap command tower for red, this. I'm gonna cast the Dual Caster Mage, paying for Rhystic Study. Dual Caster ETB, I'm gonna copy the Silence.
So unfortunately, 2 opponents have only cast 2 spells, so this my retract that everybody's seeing in my hand does not work yet.
Alright, so copy of Silence is gonna resolve, and then we have a Jessica's Will on the stack.
I will make 10 red and exile a Noxious Rival, a Algorithm Tomb, and a Calling Ritual. Those are in temporary exile. I have 10 red, but I'm silenced. Go ahead.
I guess you're silenced, so you can't really respond to that. So I'm gonna be double protected now.
I just noticed that you don't have any more mana post silence, so while Savaging Summoning is still on the stack, I'm going to sacrifice 3 treasures for the team and play Otawara Soaring City, returning Dihada, that is your only mana source, back to your hand, William.
Oh my god. Okay, no. Help, help, I'm dying. No deflecting what's left. That is gonna resolve. Yeah, Otavara brings back Dihada to my hand. And yeah, I will go to Maphis, try to figure this one out. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna swing this Ragavan over at Pontus, try to get the best card in Magic history.
No blocks. I'll take 2, and I will exile Assassin's Trophy. Pretty good.
And go to my end step and die to my Found Fortune trigger. GG's, nice Otavara.
In end step, when William dies, the silence goes away. So still end step, I will Noxious Revival targeting my Jessica's Will. Puts Jessica's Will on top of my library, and I will go to my turn. I'll untap and draw. I will immediately, on my turn, tap 3 mana, take 2 damage. To cast a... Actually, before I do that, I will shock in the Stomping Ground and use that instead of the Gemstone Caverns to cast the Jessica's Will targeting Rhetoric, taking 2 more damage. Not paying first thing. Jessica's Will resolves. I'll exile a Ad Nauseam, a Taiga, and the Birds of Paradise. Great cards, great cards. And I will make 12 red mana. Then, with that 12 mana, I'll use 2 of them to, as my second spell for turn, cast the Breach. Not paying first study.
I will respond to your Breach. I will tap Tundra for a silence.
So, since I am black, red, green, Jund, I don't have anything to respond to silence. So, yeah, silence resolves. And with my place not working out because I can't say the word, I'll move to combat. And I will swing Korvold at Rhetoric. Trigger, I will sacrifice the Breach because Breach on the silence isn't that good. And this will trigger Korvold, and I would like to draw a card and put a counter on them. I'll draw that card, another card I can't play with silence. And my mana is gone since a bit ago, and I will just pass.
Well, let's see if I can make other people mad. So let's tap out and in the end step, and I'm going to Psych Rift.
I have no response to this. I will sacrifice my 3 treasures for purple mana and put my cards back into my hand. I will go to my turn, untap everything I have, including Rhetoric Sports Tape. I'll put this Bayou into play. I'm gonna cast Sisay, paying for Rhystic Study and passing the turn.
In your end step, I will pay 1 and Worldly Tutor. Putting this Grand Abolisher on top, and then I will activate Thrasios, drawing it. So we'll do this 2, and there it is. To my hand. Untap, or for crypts. Heads, I'll take damage. Flip tails, sweet. Draw a card. Land per turn is a Breeding Pool. Checking, I will tap these 2. First, cast a Grand Abolisher. Abolisher resolves, so to cast a Devoted Druid. And that resolves, so I will tap Command Tower and cast Swift Reconfiguration targeting Devoted Druid. Because Grand Abolisher and my opponents can't do anything currently with Swift Reconfiguration, I can turn Devoted Druid into a vehicle, which means then I can put infinite activations on it, getting infinite green mana. And then what I'll do is infinitely activate, or we'll just say I will activate Thrasios enough times to grab Walking Ballista, which I typically do with this, and then cast that and waste you guys from there. Good game. I have a habit, and I think I don't want to blame it on you guys. I've seen you guys do it a lot, but you grab Rhystic Study whenever you have Vampiric Tutor, if you can cast it on turn 2. Sometimes I feel like that's all I can see in the tunnel, but it's hard not to, when it rides you to some victory. So yeah, I mean, I was happy. I just kept drawing a bunch of cards, and then near the end though, that was a really interesting case, right? Like I totally forgot about Otawara. And I was like, I've used all my resources on William. This is the end. He had a thing against Pontus. I'm like, what is going on here?
I think Rhystic Study turn 2 is really good. It's something definitely worthy to Mulligan for. I've been in discussions if you even should do consult towards Rhystic Study, and I think that's a legit thing to gamble on.
No, I definitely think that was your best option in the scenario you were in. Like turn 1, Vamp Tutor into turn 2, Rhystic Study is like, I don't know, it's hard to beat in C2.
Yeah.
It's a winning combination when your deck doesn't have a lot of fast options really, not being in red. So I think that's the best thing you can do basically.
I think that's the best.
I think that was really good.
Almost the best thing you can not always do. They're definitely gonna be turbo faster, more secure to win attempts, but sure, I think it's regardless of colors, it's really good.
I agree. I think so too. And on my win attempt, I forgot about the Otavara that you actually revealed to us.
Yeah, you were sitting here saying Sisay has an activation, Sisay is scared, so like, no, I have nothing. So I revealed my hand.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that in the game so much because they were saying it really slow, but I was feeling the vibes from the pod. they were planning to target Sisay over Korvold, and I didn't like that.
I don't know what vibe you were feeling because I was just making fun of you.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a strategy I should adopt though. Like, just show them the interaction you have in hand, and then just tell them I have nothing until they forget.
Yes, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the battle. We will be back as always next week. Until then, hey do!